Welcome. Today we are cracking the code on a process that major companies use every single day to get the absolute best price on, well, everything they buy. It's called the Request for Quotation, or RFQ, and we're going to walk through how to master it in SAP step by step.
So you have to wonder, right? When a huge company needs to buy, say, 10,000 laptops, they don't just go online and click Add to Cart. They need a structured, fair, and totally bulletproof way to find the best possible deal. So, how do they actually do it?
Well, the answer is the RFQ, the Request for Quotation. Honestly, you can just think of it as a formal competition for your business. You send out an invitation that says, here's exactly what we need, and you invite vendors to come back with their absolute best offer. This one process is really at the heart of strategic purchasing.
So here's our game plan. We're going to cover the whole life cycle. First, creating the request itself. Then, entering the quotes when they come back from the vendors. After that, the fun part, comparing the prices. And finally, making that all-important final decision. Let's get into it. All right, first up, creating the initial request for quotation. And in the world of SAP, this all starts in one specific place, a transaction called ME41. So if you're new to this, transaction codes, or T-codes, are basically just shortcuts in SAP. They take you directly to the task you want to do. To kick this whole thing off, we're just going to type ME41 right into that command field. This is square one. Once we're inside ME41, it's a pretty straightforward four-step process. First, we'll set the ground rules for the quotation. Then we'll specify exactly what we want to buy. After that, we decide who we're asking. And finally, we save it all to make it official. Now, when you see this screen, the most important field here is that quotation deadline. This is absolutely critical. You are literally setting a timer for your vendors. This date tells them precisely how long they have to get their bid in, and it keeps your project on schedule.
Okay, this next part is the what. What are we buying? Here, we're telling the system we need a price for 100 of material number 1000620, which for our example is a laptop. Getting this right ensures every single vendor is bidding on the exact same thing. No confusion. And this is a super important point. Each RFQ you create is tied to one and only one vendor. You pop in their unique vendor number and you'll see SAP automatically pulls in all their details. This means if you want quotes from 3 vendors, you're going to create 3 separate RFQs. And with the simple click of the Save button, boom, it's official. SAP gives you this confirmation and, more importantly, a unique document number for this request. That number is our golden ticket from here on out. So, we've sent out our invitation. Now let's see what happens when the RSVPs come in.
All right, moving on to phase 2. Time has passed, the deadline is up, and our vendors have sent back their pricing. Now it's our job to get that information into SAP so we can actually analyze it. And for that, we need a new T-code.
Our new shortcut is ME47. So if ME41 was for creating the request, you can think of ME47 as being for maintaining or updating it with the vendor's info. This is the step where our request turns into an actual, concrete quotation with a price tag on it.
So we use that unique RFQ number from before to pull up the document, and we go right to this field, net price. This is the number we've been waiting for. In this case, this vendor has quoted us a price of $100 for each laptop. We just type it right in there.
We hit Save, and the system confirms that the quotation has been updated. Now we just, rinse and repeat. For every single vendor who sent us a price, we're going to go through this exact same ME47 process. We're just populating the system with all the competing offers. All right, this is the moment we've been working towards. The bids are all in. It is time to put them head-to-head and finally see who's offering the best deal.
And our final T-code for this whole process is ME49. This is the analysis hub. It's designed specifically to take all those individual quotations we entered and line them up side by side for a super easy-to-read comparison. So you might be asking, how does SAP know which quotes to compare with each other? Well, that's what this collective RFQ number is for. Think of it like a project name or a folder. We assign the number 12 to all the different RFQs we sent out for these laptops. So by putting 12 here, we're telling SAP, hey, show me all the bids for this project. And here we go, the initial results. SAP lays everything out beautifully and even ranks them for us. You can see that little green 1 right there, telling us that vendor 10,275 is in the lead with a total value of $125.50. Awesome. Case closed, right? We have our winner? Or do we?
Well, not so fast, because anyone who's been in purchasing for a while knows the list price is almost never the full story. The real cost is usually hiding in the details.
And this right here, this is the pro move. Before running that comparison, you have to check these little boxes under price calculations. By doing this, we're telling SAP, don't just show me the sticker price, I need to see the effective price, which includes things like discounts, shipping costs, and any other charges.
And this is why that last step is so incredibly important. Look at this. On the left is our first comparison. On the right, the results after we check those boxes. Take a look. The lead vendor's price actually dropped from $125.50 down to $122.99. This isn't just a different number. This is the true cost. This is the real apples-to-apples comparison.
So now, with the real numbers in front of us, we can finally move on to the most important part of this whole thing, making a smart business decision.
Let's just simplify that SAP screen for a second. When you boil it all down, after all those calculations, vendor 100275 is still ranked number 1. Their effective price is $122.99. The data is clear. They are the most cost-effective choice. The numbers just don't lie.
But, and this is the final thought I want to leave you with, the best price isn't always the best value. What about things like delivery time, or product quality, or maybe that vendor's past performance? The data we got from ME49 gives you the perfect financial answer. But the final decision, well, that often means balancing those hard numbers with all these other critical business factors. So, what would you choose?